Hi everyone, today we'll be talking about the 3 best armies in the new horde mode after all the testing and practicing I've been doing, and we'll talk a bit more about the meta and some things I've noticed from various teams. So some of you might be wondering what the purpose of this video is. A lot of you don't play horde mode, so maybe you can just enjoy some nice attacks and see how these plans work out. For some of you, you're interested in esports, you play some matches. Some of you are even playing in the Swiss stage of the world's Warmup this weekend. So if I can do anything to help contribute to your success, I would be very happy to be able to do that. But the first strategy we're going to be looking at here is the fireball into root riders. And this was a strategy that I saw Dark on Top use. I think there were some variations of it from before, but he really made it popular with the new horde mode. And basically the idea is to start off with the Angry Jelly and the Warden Walk to set up a nice fireball into the core. And then as you can see in this attack, I'm using it as a funneling point to then start my Root Riders with the King and the Valkyries, and then the Queen and the Siege Barracks along the outside to funnel. So as you can see over here, the Queen's just working her way along the outside, and then the Root Riders are going with the King into the base. Now we just wait slowly as everything progresses. The Overgrowth spell is used to help perfect the pathing of the Root Riders and also take off some damage. So with this attack, you see I overgrowth the core and the monolith. This was actually, I think, my second try on the base. The first time I didn't overgrowth the monolith, and it was a very close attack. But you'll see now, overgrowthing the monolith, there's a big difference. It doesn't shoot at all while the troops are just moving through. Here the King goes a bit towards the inside of the base. Now it doesn't really make a difference where he was. As soon as the overgrowth goes off, I pop the King ability and take out the buildings in the core. And you can see, I probably could have even swagged my Royal Champion in this attack. But anyways, just to keep with good principles, we'll use her right about now to just help support everything on the back end. You don't want to play her too early, otherwise she'll get targeted and get in trouble. I have just one more free spell. I'm going to use it now to save the Warden because his Rage Aura is very important and helpful with the attack. So this is just the end of the attack. You see it was completely crushed. Not every attack is this crushed, but we have 2 more strategies to show you after this that we'll be discussing a little bit more. So on to the next attack. So the next attack is going to be a fireball attack, this time the fireball into rocket balloons. So fireball attacks are pretty strong, especially when there's a stacked core. On this base, I decided to go with the Rocket Loons rather than the Root Riders because the fireball needed quite a lot of setup because you needed a lot of invisibilities to really get into that core, and it's a bit difficult to do with the Root Rider attack. So I just went with the fireball into rocket balloons. By the way, this was my first try on the base, which I did. Actually, the try before this, I accidentally had the jelly on the Warden, but I kept the owl, and you're going to see now how it's going to work out. So I used the Royal Champion to start off, clear some way to get this big fireball, some rocket balloons also to set up, and now just the invisibilities and the Warden ability, boom, fireball into the core. Also, sorry about the decorations on the space. I used this towards the end of the Legends League season, so it was just my Legends base, and yeah, it did very well, but yeah, it has some decorations. Sorry about that. So now we see the Warden moving through towards one side. This was actually just on the spot. I decided to place a Flame Flinger on the left side because I was like, how am I going to get this single? It's going to be kind of annoying for my heroes. So I decided to just place a Flame Flinger as I saw an opportunity. And now I'm going to use some balloons to redirect the Warden towards the monolith, and then just to rage an invis because he gets into a lot of damage. So the balloons are very important with a strategy, just to redirect the Warden towards whatever side. Some people prefer to funnel him in with like a baby dragon or something, but I say a balloon is like 4 balloons or 20 housing space, so it's basically like you're funneling, but it's a guaranteed funnel, so I like to use it. Now we see the King going into the ricochet cannon and the expo compartment over here, and the Queen just kind of flanking him around the outside. I used one free spell there, and just the warden continues his job. I used 2 rocket balloons to distract the single inferno. King ability right over here. Queen, I wasn't sure like what's gonna get the town hall, but at least she can just clear the area around the outside, and then the flame flinger or the troops inside of it can help with the town hall. And I still have lots of rocket balloons. The warden is still moving. Now the rocket balloons just to distract this new merged cannon, because it does a lot of damage, so we want to just save our queen a little bit. Flame Flinger ends up taking out the town hall, and this is a very nice 3-star over here with a fireball into rocket balloons. So we can just speed it up, and we'll get into the final attack now. So the final attack we have here is going to be the RC walk into the Root Riders. Since this base doesn't have too much fireball value, instead you can go with the RC walk, which is also a pretty good strategy. This is also a pretty good base that defended against Mohammed Marawi from Cuba Esports. So if anyone from Cuba is watching this, I guess this is how you should have beaten the base. But also, since this is the last attack, I'll talk a bit more about the meta and some of the strategies I've found. So I've seen a lot of people play the fireball into super witches, but it's also caused a lot of like really big fails. If you can execute it perfectly, then you can get the 3-star, but it can be pretty difficult sometimes, especially as the witches just don't have so much power and can die quickly in this new hard mode. So it's definitely not an easy attack to play, and it really needs really good execution. Like a lot of strong players have messed it up big time. There's also the Zap Lalo attack, which I've seen a few people use, Rakiers from Tribe Gaming, but also recently Eltano from Team Electros has also been crushing some bases with Zap Lalo. Just also notice in this attack the overgrowth to set the pathing for the Root Riders and take off some damage. But back to what I was saying, Eltano was crushing a lot of bases in this qualifier with Zap Lalo, but he was crushing a lot of bases overall. I wouldn't be surprised if his hit rate was over like 50% or something, which is pretty insane. But those are the 2 pretty much other option strategies you have besides these 2 fireball ones and this Root Rider one. So the fireball super witch attack can be good, but it can be very risky. So it depends really if you can find some really clean approaches. Sometimes it can work. Zap Lalo is also really base dependent, but you can 3-star with it sometimes. So now this attack is going to be finishing up, and we can see everything coming together. Nice plan. Everything had good pathing, so the plan just barely works out with this hard mode. So I hope you guys found 1 or 2 useful things in this video. Maybe found a nice strategy or approach that can help you out. So best of luck to you guys playing in the Swiss stage this weekend. I hope you guys really make it to the final 8, whichever teams those are. But hope you enjoyed this, and bye bye.